Welcome to the Trooper Transmission. And today we got my man Kenzie Burke joining us to talk about his experience at Fit Nerd Academy. And I'll just lead this off right away with Kenzie's a savage and probably the most consistent dude I've ever worked with. So tall stakes to come after that. But man, pumped to have you just kind of sharing your story and journey, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. You're building me up for more than I think I am, but thanks for having me.
No, man, you're Captain America. That's the way I see it. So that's why I got the flag behind you. So
Yeah.
let's rewind the clock, bring it all the way back. It's early 2023. What was going on and what inspired you to look for support? And then you see some dude in a clone trooper helmet. And what was the moment where you're like, that's the guy. That's the guy I'm gonna reach out to.
Well, let's see. Beginning of 2023, I had just moved to a whole new state for my job, and I was just starting out. I had a lot of downtime, and I guess I took advantage of that a little too much. Um, I got lazy with my workouts, from just not being close enough to a gym to the gym being that's close to me, not having everything, to the weather just being extremely hot, so I couldn't go on my normal runs kind of thing, coming up with excuses. Um, and that pulled over into even my own food habits, being too lazy to just cook for myself and coming up with healthy stuff and healthy plans for myself. Uh, but at the end of the day, I just kind of, a few months later, I found that I gained a ton of weight. Not a huge amount of weight, but plenty where I was like, I need a wake up call here. And even my girlfriend was saying, like, you need to actually like put in work here. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I need to do something. Lo and behold, one day my brother on Instagram shares with me, you were one of your videos. And it's this guy in a clone trooper helmet doing workouts. And I just started laughing. I was like, that's hilarious. But that's also like, it spoke to me for some reason. I'd kind of pushed Star Wars and all that off to the side since I, you know, kind of left high school. But when I saw that, it kind of just spoke to me as like, just because you weren't an athlete back then and you weren't really an athlete in college or anything like that, doesn't mean that's an excuse for you to not put in the work and not, be physically fit, even if you don't want to do a sport. And I kind of came to the realization is like, I kind of want to reach out to this guy. And you were starting the Fit Nerd Academy, the Alpha class, and I put in my information. At first, you said we're full up right now, but I'll get you in the next class. And then all of a sudden, I got an email saying, "Hey, do you want to set up a call?" And that's kind of how this whole thing got started. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at early 23, and that's where I kind of started the program.
Yeah. And had you ever worked with a coach? Was there any apprehension you had being across the country from me in Seattle and you where you're at?
So I'd never worked with a coach before, at least not for fitness or anything like that. I'd done archery in college, so I was familiar with coaches, and most of my coaches were horrible. So uh, as far as the fitness, I'd never worked with a fitness coach before. I'm not used to reaching out for help on like workouts and stuff like that. So that was a bit daunting to share an experience like that with someone who was pretty much a stranger to me at that point. So that was a bit daunting. Um, and you being across the country, obviously, I was kind of concerned how things were going to play out. You couldn't physically check in with me and see my progress or anything like that. But those fears are kind of alleviated as soon as we got the ball rolling. And I don't know. It was weird because I wasn't prepared to, jump right into it at the end of our little talk on the first day. And you quoted to me what I was going to have to commit to this. And I think I had a 5 second gap or something like that. I was just thinking, and I was like, you know what? I have to do something. And so I said, yes, let's do it. And I committed, and here we are.
Yeah. And I gotta say, man, from my side of things, you committed 100%. You've crushed it. Do you feel that way?
Uh, I always feel there's room for improvement, but I'm surprised at the progress that I've made so far. The biggest weight, I haven't weighed this few since before I went to college, and the reason why that was because of some big trek I went on, and I lost a way too much weight in a way too short amount of time. So um, this is the least I've weighed in a long time, and I think that's my biggest win from this. But it was a it was a great experience so far.
Yeah. And what I'm excited about is we're just getting started. So, phase one of 4 phases, you've crushed phase one. Now you're a trooper. I actually just mailed out your trooper badge. So, you should expect that soon. So, definitely let everyone know when you get that. Curious for you, the like lowest hanging fruit or the 3 keys to success. What would you say the things that you've kind of realized where it's like, man, if I got these 3 things going for me, I'm tough to beat?
Um, well, the first one's this one I've been thinking about a lot since a recent call we had, but it was consistency. And I think that just stems from the type of program that you have, where it's, you have your level of how many calories you want to hit a day, what workout you have for the day, and it isn't necessarily even hitting the same number every single day. One day the calories are here versus here, and one day the weight that you're losing or the weight that you're carrying for a workout is, here or here. But the consistency isn't the, minute little, millimeters. It's the inches and feet, where it's, I need to hit my marks for the day, where, you know, even if I wasn't, hitting the most weight I've ever hit, I'm not going up constantly on the weights that I'm carrying for the workouts. The big thing is that I'm out there and I'm doing the work, and it's
Mm.
every single day. And that goes for the food as well. Even if you can't cook for yourself, the biggest thing is focusing on the food groups that you need to, and then focusing on the calories that you need to make sure you're hitting those bullet points every single day. And I thought that was going to be extremely difficult to start, but it it became so easy. It became like clockwork after probably 2 weeks, and it's just gone from there.
Yeah.
And then let's see. I wanted to say commitment, but that's kind of the same as consistency. And then but I'll say accountability and discipline. The discipline's not as important because it's like, well, it is important, but it's okay to stumble every now and again. But the discipline is that you're committed to the program, and you're disciplined enough to say, I don't care that, I didn't get as much sleep last night or something like that. I have to do something. And so you're disciplined enough to get out of bed, get dressed, and go to the gym. And then the accountability again comes from that consistency. If you're hitting all your marks and you're accountable to someone else for hitting those marks and putting in the work and showing them that you put in the work, I think that just helps overall tie the program together and makes you one complete unit to, hit your fitness goals.
Yeah. Well said. I love that. Any For anyone watching who's like just struggling fitness wise, maybe it's like their girlfriend said something similar to you, or it's like, hey, you got to get working. What's the first thing you would have them look at? And that could be a million different things, but I'm just curious what you wish you would have told yourself maybe 6 months ago.
Honestly, the first thing is probably just the nutrition, because that was it for me. And I think that's the biggest win that I've had from this is I don't eat out nearly as much. I try not to find excuses for myself to eat out. And it's it's honestly the nutrition is the first place I would look. But after that, I would also just say you have to go out and you have to do something. I think once you said, you can walk 5,000 or 10,000 steps a day and you'll lose weight. And it's little things like that. So whether that's, committing yourself to getting a gym membership or walking on a treadmill or something on that fitness side, that's that's the first step, is just getting out the door. You have to put your foot out the door and you have to take the step. And it's almost like a hill, like you're at the top of this hill. Once you take that first step, gravity is in motion, energy is pulling you down, and it kind of just snowballs from there.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like I said, you crushed it. You've been super consistent. I'm excited to see where you're at down the road. And it's just an honor to be the guide as you go down this journey. Super fun working with you, man.
Well, I've been having a blast, and I love working with you. You're great, and I don't comment much on the group chats and everything like that, but all the guys are great too, and I love hearing from them and getting to share all this cool stuff that we're going through together.
Yeah, community's getting rowdy. Meme Mondays get funny. So it's a good time with the lads and the ladies. We got some ladies in there as well inside
Mhm.
of the group chat in the group.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the big awesome things about this is just the community.
Yeah, that's community led. That's what it's all about. We do it together. Wolf travels fast, but the pack travels far. That's the big thing that stood out to me a few years ago, and I feel like it's cool to see that clicking for other people.
That's absolutely true. I've seen that everywhere, and I'm seeing that here too. So yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks for the time, man, and excited to keep watching you progress.
So, first thing I want to point out with him is just how consistent he has been. And that was one of the things he talked about in the video. This right here is him just hitting as many days as he possibly can to the best of his ability. And when you follow the process and when you're consistent with that process, then you see results like he's seen. And so he went from 202 down to as low as 177 in those first 3 months working together. And we still got a lot of work to do, but I have no doubt that he's going to get his goals and his dreams because he's so consistent.